From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White. Federal officials say this wildfire season is one of the worst on record for Canada, with a high risk of more fires in August. More than 5.5 million hectares of land have burned so far this year, and Natural Resources Minister Tim Hodgson says it could get even worse.
Forecasts point to above average temperatures across much of Canada through the end of August, with dry conditions expected to intensify in the coming weeks, particularly in the west and the north.
But the total burn so far is still well behind 2023's record fire season, when more than 6,000 fires burned more than 15 million hectares of land. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith is demanding the fire-stricken town of Jasper apologize for and retract a report criticizing her government. The report surveyed firefighters and others who battled last summer's wildfire. They said Alberta officials got in the way by trying to make decisions that weren't theirs to make and regularly asking for information.
At no point did they say they did not want our response, and so this report comes as a shot out of the blue. It's unfair, it's untrue, and I would like them to withdraw it.
Jasper's in a national park, so the town and Parks Canada had jurisdiction in fighting the fire. The man convicted in the 2005 Toronto Boxing Day murder of a 15-year-old girl was granted full parole in January after being assessed at the highest risk to reoffend. 7 months later, 43-year-old Jeremiah Valentine faces one count of first-degree murder. It's in the killing of a man in downtown Montreal this week. Valentine pleaded guilty in 2009 to the murder of 15-year-old Jane Creba, killed in the crossfire of a gang shootout in downtown Toronto. A teenager has been killed by a plane that crashed into Ontario's Lake Scugog, about 90 kilometers northeast of Toronto. It's not immediately clear if the teen was in the water when the plane crashed. Prime Minister Mark Carney will be in the Northwest Territories next week. It's for the second of 3 meetings with Indigenous groups to discuss his government's major projects bill. Postal workers begin voting next week on Canada Post's latest offer, but their union is urging them to vote no.
Union National President Jan Simpson says a strong no vote would not only reject the offer, but also protect the integrity of the bargaining process. The Canada Industrial Relations Board will hold the vote on the proposed deal starting next week. Federal Jobs Minister Patty Hajdu asked the board to step in last month and put the Crown Corporation's latest offer to a vote. It would see wage hikes of more than 13% and also add part-time workers that Canada Post says are necessary to keep the postal service afloat. Lisa Laporte, The Canadian Press.
This is The Canadian Press. In sports, the Toronto Blue Jays return to action tonight with a 3-game series at home against the San Francisco Giants. The Blue Jays emerged from the All-Star break with a 2-game lead over the New York Yankees atop the American League East. Top-ranked golfer Scottie Scheffler has surged to the top of the leaderboard at the British Open. Listowel, Ontario's Corey Connors came close to a hole-in-one on 16. He was the only Canadian to make the cut. 3 teams have been added to each of the 2026 Canadian men's and women's curling championships. They include 4-time champion Carrie Anerson. And Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark is still ruled out for this weekend's WNBA All-Star event because of a groin injury. But Clark's still excited about the weekend, despite not being able to play.
I'm just excited to be out here, see everybody, and I think the rest of the day will be awesome, and then tonight and obviously tomorrow as well.
Clark was supposed to compete in a loaded 3-point contest tonight, and she's the captain of one of the All-Star teams. From the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.